The situation is getting heated, and it looks like a big drama is going to happen. Some reports claim that Rema and Eazy the Block got into a furious dispute about the latest episode of Trauma EP, which started with Affliction. The Captain and Rema have also been talking about Remy's love for Papoose all the time, and they share their thoughts with everybody who will listen. But the tension didn't stop there. There was a furious altercation in the car after the Captain publicly questioned Remy's allegiance. The situation becomes even more chaotic when you believe that Remy's irritation with Papa's new lover exacerbates things. In case you missed it, here's the scoop. This wasn't an abrupt explosion. It had been building for a while. It seems that Remy has been using simple coping mechanisms to deal with Papoose's new relationship for months. Stay tuned. This isn't finished yet, because the entire issue is about to blow up and could explode out at any moment. Finally, after weeks of stress, Remy snapped. The gossip was painful. Things definitely took a turn for the worse when Papoose made their breakup public by sharing a Father's Day selfie of himself with his daughter, Captain, following the revelation that Remy had cheated on him with an easy-to-get-along underground rapper. Then, as if something important had happened, Remy suddenly disappeared from social media, shocking everyone. After everything calmed down, Eazy and Remy began spending more time together. Now, what will happen? Is this the beginning of something more significant, or will Remy and Eazy's brief relationship come to an end? There is still a tremendous deal of drama ahead of us. Even though Remy was spotted lending a hand behind the scenes, things suddenly became nasty following an encounter with rapper G-Die. Gaddy didn't hold back when he revealed the reason behind Remy and Eazy's close bond and even called out her complex relationship with him. Remy didn't hold back when GTI accused him of cheating on Papoose, the man who had supported her for years. Papa was the one who stood by her side through everything and helped her while she was imprisoned. When Papo seemed to subtly concur with the claims that Remy had cheated rather than flatly rejecting them, the situation took a wild turn. Rumors of Remy's adultery were spreading like wildfire, and G Gotti's heated comments only made things worse. Everyone thought that because Remy was so well known, she would immediately refute the allegations. But now that silence isn't usually a sign of weakness, it definitely caused some people to take notice. The drama intensified once the Block made a statement, as if that weren't enough. Soon after, another individual who had been seen with Remy became involved in the narrative, and more rumors were started after their identities were made public. To make things more confusing, some major media sources even went so far as to say that Remy was in a polyamorous relationship. Furthermore, Remy's strong relations with several individuals were criticized, which fueled the flames. It's clear that things are far from resolved because the plot keeps going in different directions. You won't want to miss how things become even stranger, so keep an eye out for much more. Initially, Remy tried to deny that anything was happening. However, as more news outlets started to cover it, the facts could no longer be kept a secret. Remy supposedly revealed yet another shocking revelation a few weeks ago, saying that she had been dating boxing champion Claressa Shields. If you found it startling, hold on, it gets worse. What little relationship she had left with Claressa was shattered when Remy posted a screenshot of Papoose with his new girlfriend and added a savage comment. "I can't get Papoose to leave my apartment after he fell asleep on the phone with Claressa Shields." The two women got into a heated argument, and Claressa even threatened to harm Remy if they ever crossed paths again, even though Remy is a. According to reports, the moment Claressa heard Remy's voice, she hung up on her. Everyone was shocked by the entire situation. Now that the truth is out, Remy's world appears to be collapsing. This drama is far from ended, so stay tuned. When Remy noticed that Papoose was seeing someone else, she was unable to control her annoyance. Her recent outbursts of rage are difficult to ignore, and it's obvious that she's still furious over their breakup because she was the one who initially cheated on him. She can't seem to cope with the fact that he's gone on and found peace with someone else. After all of the drama with Clarissa, she is incensed that he is content without her. Remy came minutes after the performance started, and the crowd went berserk, clearly thrilled to see the block captain take the stage at an open event. But what followed was totally unanticipated. Despite Remy's continued relationship with Eazy, the block captain, she was unable to avoid the drama that developed. People began criticizing her for messing with Papoose as soon as a video of the incident went public. Remy wasn't prepared for the intense criticism. She immediately said yes to a challenging question, hoping that things wouldn't grow worse. Sources claim that Eazy believes Remy is exploiting him and not giving him the deference he merits. Everything appeared to go out of control as soon as Remy started berating Papoose for moving on. Now her relationship with Eazy is now under risk. In addition to her friendship with Papoose, karma may be catching up with Remy after she betrayed Papoose by moving on with Eazy while they were still together, and things are getting more intense. The notion that Remy cheated on Papo has infuriated many, and fans are discussing this. Considering how much he loved and supported her, many people think she ought to have treated him better. Some even claim that this is the reason why individuals are hesitant to date New York ladies. Many supporters have clearly been dismayed by Remy's conduct. Remy appears to be having a lot of difficulties at the moment, perhaps as a result of a betrayal or a midlife crisis. What is the true narrative behind the drama that we have all witnessed? Let's switch topics and discuss 50 Cent. His life is considerably more nuanced than it seems. Shinnika Tompkins, his girlfriend, kissed him in 1996. Even though Eazy the Block Captain is very well known in the rap industry, she may realize that quitting Papoose was one of her worst choices in retrospect. His public persona isn't as distinct as some may believe. Some people question whether Remy utilized him to help her get over Papoose or whether he's genuinely handsome. Everything seemed to be going smoothly after they gave birth to their son Maris, but over time, their relationship and the connection of their family started to suffer. Although 50's relationships, especially with his children, are anything but simple, he grew closer to his younger son by the time his relationship with his oldest son, Maris, started to deteriorate. Maris regarded his father as a superhero when he was small, but as he became older, that all gave way to disappointment. Their father-son relationship was in severe turmoil by 2008, when things were legal, and it never entirely recovered. In 2008, 50 Cent was so incensed when Maris was seen with Kenneth Supreme's son that he wrote on the internet that he wouldn't care if a bus struck both Maris and McGriff's son. This was an obvious sign of how strained their relationship had become. Maris made things worse by continuing to associate with individuals his father disapproved of and by making disparaging remarks about him on social media. Their relationship was exacerbated by the fact that neither father nor son was willing to compromise. The relationship is more convoluted and poisonous. Even though 50 Cent was paying $6,700 in child support every month, Marquise has consistently said that his objective was to spend time with his father, 50 Cent, rather than to obtain money. Although 50 Cent claimed that social media wasn't the best place to make amends, Maris was more concerned with mending their relationship than with making money. Without his phone number, Maris attempted to reach his father directly on social media but was barred. Maris released music in the meantime to break free from his famous father's shadow. 50 Cent has always had a different relationship with his second son, Sire, than he does with his oldest son, Maris. Despite the challenges with Maris, 50 appeared to be closer to his younger son, Sire. His mother, Daphne, however, announced on social media in March 2024 that she was done having children. This demonstrates the complexity of familial relationships. Daphne claimed that the abuse she had experienced had crushed her heart and that 50 Cent's denial of the abuse charges only made their already strained relationship worse. Things didn't calm down, though, and 50 Cent even seemed to be attempting to obtain complete custody of Sire. The media quickly took notice of what had begun as a private problem, and it was no longer just about court battles. It was now widely reported. 50 Cent's life has been filled with challenging experiences that have molded him into the person he is today. He is not only well known for his music and notoriety, but also for the struggles he has endured. His conviction for minor vandalism was one of the turning points in his life. He entered a guilty plea, conducted community service, and was placed on probation for 3 years, but his legal issues weren't the only thing that made headlines. Another aspect of his background was his relationship with Kenneth Supreme McGriff. More than simply a nickname, McGriff is linked to the shooting that nearly claimed 50 Cent's life in 2000. When fans noticed his eldest son, Maris, spending time with McGriff's kid, they began to wonder what this meant for their relationship. Many questioned whether or not relations between 50 and Maris could ever improve, and 50 was always focused on giving his youngest son, Sire, a bright future. Despite having a challenging upbringing, 50 Cent's journey has been influenced by some really trying circumstances, especially in relation to his mother, Sabrina Jackson. Tragically, his mother was stolen from him in 1983 when he was just 8 years old. She was a tough woman who worked hard to provide him with a better life. Her flat was burned, and it is thought that she was poisoned, killed, and rendered unconscious. For years, 50 Cent has been plagued by the mystery surrounding her death, and in 2018, his relationship with Maris became even more complex. In a culture that wasn't always supportive of women, particularly in her town, Sabrina Jackson was a fighter who established herself. In addition to influencing 50 Cent's desire for achievement, her power and determination left him with emotional wounds that he has carried with him throughout his life. According to 50's interviews, the sadness of his mother's passing and the unresolved concerns around it have shaped who he is today, regardless of how successful he has been. His life and career have been marked by hardship and tragedy, and it's clear that these early difficulties have a substantial influence on 50 Cent's personality after the death of his mother, Sabrina Jackson, when he was only 8 years old. He thinks that someone was responsible for her death and often thinks back on the details of her horrible demise and how it affected him deeply. Strong and determined, Sabrina made every effort to prepare 50 Cent for the harsh truths of life. "Get up. What are you crying for?" she always told him. Her advice stayed with him and shaped the way he overcame challenges throughout his life. Even as an adult, 50 Cent admits that losing his mother was the most difficult thing he has ever experienced. 50 Cent often says that Bond was everything to him and that he was his grandmother's baby. He had to maintain a strong exterior while growing up on the rough streets, but life with his grandma was a haven. It wasn't always simple, of course. There were moments of conflict, particularly with his Aunt Sylvia, who didn't appreciate that Curtis had taken on a central role in the family. But even though he felt he had no choice but never intended to pursue that road, by the time he was 12, he was already living on the streets and dealing drugs, leading a dangerous existence. Although it hasn't always been simple, 50 Cent's family has always been crucial to him. There have been ups and downs in his ties with his youngest son, Sire, and his mother, Daffy Joy. But he says that the grief of losing his grandma was more than anything he had ever gone through. Her eyes glowed when she saw him when he was called to the hospital during a family get-together, but he quickly heard her heart rate drop. Despite all the heartache he had experienced, his aunt informed him she had been waiting for him, but losing her left a deep scar. In May 2023, Daffy publicly accused 50 Cent of mistreating her in an Instagram post that has since been removed. 50 Cent didn't keep quiet about it, so he sued for slander, saying he was committed to his family and was still trying to leave a loving and difficult legacy. Tension also developed between 50 Cent and his son, Sire, as a result of this circumstance. Given that he felt misunderstood, 50 Cent has always desired to be active in his son's existence. 50 Cent stated in Under Pressure that he wanted to be nearer to his child because of his challenging experiences. But in September 2023, 50 Cent abandoned the lawsuit in a remarkable turn of circumstances. Things become particularly heated during the ongoing dispute with Sheena Tompkins, the mother of his eldest son, Maris. 50 Cent and Shaniqua have been embroiled in a poisonous loop of legal disputes, taunts, and social media drama for almost 2 decades. It was more difficult to avoid the spotlight in 2019 after he accused him of attempting to damage his reputation and prevent him from seeing his child. This could, however, indicate that there is a possibility that the situation will settle down and that the disagreement may be resolved in the future. What are your thoughts? Can 50 Cent and his family improve their situation, or should they move on from their past? Tell us in the comments section. The 50 Cent family conflict has been in the news for years and doesn't seem to be improving. This is due to Sheena using funds from his first major tour for cosmetic surgery rather than real estate, which exacerbated their disagreements. Long after their 2008 divorce, they were still fighting over custody, and financial difficulties only made things worse. To make matters worse, Sheena even asked him for additional money. Can appreciate the complexity of everything. First, 50 Cent's son Maris said that his father was giving his mother, Shaniqua, $40,000 a month, or more than $500,000 a year. The drama didn't stop there, though, as 50 Cent was able to have the payments lowered to $6.71 per month after a fierce legal struggle. Their son was impacted by Shaniqua's additional legal troubles. Maris has made an effort to stay out of the commotion, but when your parents are in the news all the time, it's difficult to ignore. Now that 50 Cent wasn't pleased with the status quo, he didn't mince words and took to Instagram to advise Shaniqua to find a legitimate career rather than. The situation is made worse by the apparent unwillingness of both parties to reach a solution. If there wasn't enough drama, 50 Cent's appearance at the Power Season 6 premiere with Jer Hayes, his new girlfriend, also garnered media attention. Since then, the two have been in the press and appeared to click. But with all that has transpired in 50 Cent's life, the main concern is whether this familial drama will end or whether things will ever calm down. Proceed.